welcome back to Out of the Park 23, Kansas City Royals sim. We are at the beginning of the 2023 season. If you're just jumping into this series now, in 2022, we lost in the ALDS to the Angels after beating the White Sox in the wild card round. I think we won 85 games or so. So we're predicted to win the division this year. 92 wins, 762 runs, which looks upper middle of the pack, just eyeballing it here. Runs against 667. I mean, there are a couple teams in the West that appear close to us, but man, like 3.81 ERA, there are only three other teams below 4. There are only three other teams below 4.11. There's quite a gap between the Royals, Angels, A's, and Mariners, and then everybody else. The next best team is 4.11, the Guardians. I don't believe we have anybody in the top hitters or pitchers. We do not. Oh, Jared Walsh. Look at him go. Any other names jumping out? Everybody else pretty much expected. Kelnick, Robbie Ray, Nate Eovaldi, Casey Mize jumping onto the scene. Pablo Lopez, Jordan Montgomery. Okay. So what else is going? So the Orioles are predicted to win 82 games. That's cool. But Yankees and A's are supposed to win their divisions. Let's see what else. Mets taking the NL East. The Reds, that's surprising, and the Dodgers. What's going on in Cincinnati? They have Arozarena. They signed Enrique Hernandez, Colin Moran, Drew Rasmussen. Okay, I don't really know why they're. I mean, the division isn't really amazing, but fair enough. Top hitters here, no real surprises. Top pitchers. No big surprises there. Duvall as a reliever is interesting. Sean Manaea. Okay. So, let's meet the opening day Royals, the 26-man roster. We've got starting catcher MJ Melendez. Perez will back up, but don't worry, Sal Perez is our starting first baseman, and not a terrible one. We'll see how he ages. We'll see how he ages here. Hopefully, the eye went down, the contact's gone down recently. We're hopeful. I just realized it doesn't save the old ones here anymore. No, it has like the whole. Maybe that's in settings. I don't think I changed it from the default. Huh. Okay. But yeah, his avoid Ks or his eye and his contact, but have both gone down since like middle of last season. He had a really good year last year. Hopefully he can keep that up. Alberto Mondesi starting at second base, Bobby Witt third baseman, Nicky Lopez at shortstop. That's the same as last year. The recently acquired Eloy Jimenez, acquired December 2nd from the White Sox. Thank you, Dell. The main piece going back to the White Sox was Chris Bubic, a starting pitcher who looks like he could be pretty good and was decent for us last year. He put up 2.1 WAR. Michael Taylor is our starting center fielder, Whit Merrifield in right field, and of course Rafael Devers, who we got from Boston for his 1 year left on his deal, and he's here to be our designated hitter. So who else is on the team? We've got Trace Barrera as our backup catcher, a Rule 5 pick. Vinny Pasquantino is back. I still believe in this Batman. I still believe in my scout. OSA also high on him, but not as high. He was red hot for us last year and then just really slumped and ended up being well below average overall. But, I have some faith. So he's going to be like basically our backup first baseman, backup DH. Hopefully play like 2 to 3 times a week against righties, not as much against lefties. Hopefully overall to come out to about 2 to 3 times per week. So Vinny is here. We also have Dylan Moore, who's basically our backup infielder, but also a backup outfielder. He can play all over the diamond. We'll see. We'll see. Where the year takes him. I think it's always good to have super utility players like Dylan Moore. I'd imagine he'll get playing time when there are injuries. We've also got Kyle Isbell back in the fold as our backup outfielder. What's he very unhappy about? Performance. An 83 WRC plus last year. A lot of teams have been really interested in Isbell in trade, and I thought about dealing him, but I kind of like him. He can play everywhere. I mean, he's not a great center fielder, but I don't feel terrible about giving him another run as a starter if we have an injury. Pitching side of things. Brady Singer is back, coming off the year in which he finished third in the league in WAR with 4.5 WAR, a 3.16 ERA. By the way, he did not get a single vote for Cy Young. Like, he wasn't in like the top 10 or whatever, which is insane. But anyways, we signed Corey Kluber to a 1-year deal worth $3.25 million. Just fingers crossed he can stay healthy. Kyle Hendricks is back. Alec Marsh, who pitched how many innings for us last year? 54 innings for us, 56 2/3 in AAA, and was decent. And then we've got Brad Keller. It's actually probably more like Keller than Marsh. Keller started 32 games for us last year and was fine, not great. And then the back end of the bullpen remains the same: Barlow, Garrett, Stamont. We will use Barlow as a stopper, even though he's not necessarily, stamina isn't necessarily designed for that. What happens is he'll end up coming in the 8th a lot and pitching like an inning and a third, and then Garrett comes in and closes the door. But hey, it spreads out the saves, keeps the arbitration estimates down. Will Smith, who we signed as a free agent, is here. Whoa, wait, what happened to him? Wait, what in the world? When did this happen? So his stuff went down from 65 to 50, movement 45 to 40. Whoa, contact 55 to 50, potential from 50 to 40, and his velocity dropped from 93 to 95 to 87 to 89. That could be a problem. I hadn't noticed that. The velocity dip. I mean, stuff drops 15, and the velocity drops like 6 miles an hour. That could be an issue. He could be DFA'd by like mid-April. Gabe Spears here. He pitched for us last year. Tommy Romero, who our Rule 5 pick, 25 years old, plus curveball, plus fastball, some decent stuff. I think his stuff might have gone down too. Maybe not. But yeah, Tommy Romero's here. Carlos Hernandez is out of options, so he's here. I mean, he was good for us last year, man. Like, he pitched 74 innings and put up a 2.91 ERA and a 3.68 FIP. So hopefully he can continue that. Jackson Kowar, who came up during the year last year, he pitched a nice 69 innings for us, 25 games, 5 starts. Also started in the postseason for us when we had like 4 starters hurt. He put up a 3.39 ERA. Like, he was good. He earned this spot last season. I feel really good about the depth we have on the 40-man too, especially at pitcher. I'll show you some of that. So John Hazley is, a decent enough looking pitcher at 26. He can come up and fill in. Same thing with Daniel Lynch. I don't think either of them are long-term pieces on this team, but they're good depth to have. Drew Parrish is a reliever who, Paulino is a decent, we have just a bunch of like decent arms down there who we can call up if we need more arms. Forrest Whitley, who we claimed off of waivers, who had serious control issues last year in AAA and the majors. I mean, look at these walk rates, 8 walks per 9 and 10.5 walks per 9. Of course, a small sample of innings, but we claimed him off of waivers. We'll see how it goes. Angel Zerpa is one of the more interesting pitchers at AAA because he just pitched so well last year. A 2.85 ERA in 75 innings at AA, then a 2.33 ERA in 54 innings, 10 starts at AAA. He'll be one of the first to get a shot if we have a long-term injury up there. Jake Brentz is a guy who was on our roster most of last year. 28 innings. He put up a 7.22 ERA though, but had some pretty bad luck. His FIP was much better, so he'll need to earn his way back onto the roster this year. We've got Luke Murphy, who looks like a legit bullpen arm that I signed as a minor league free agent in the middle of last year, and pitched in AA and wasn't very good, but my scout really loves him. And actually, my manager Gibbons would have him as like our setup guy if he was on the roster, but I'm not ready to go there yet. We've also got Nathan Webb down here, who looks like a nice reliever to have around. And let's get on to the hitters. Darryl Collins is a backup first baseman who he added the 40-man just so he didn't get snagged. He's in AAA this year. Did I put him in AAA? I am controlling him. Let's go to AA, dude. He ended the year in A last year. So, Michael Garcia looks like a utility infielder type. We've also got Victor Mesa, who I thought about DFAing, but with this 70 outfield range, I'm not quite ready to do that yet. He'll be in AAA, but I don't think he can hit well enough. Travis Swaggerty, another 70 range outfielder who's in AAA, who the bat is a question mark. And then Sully Matias is looks like a potential power bat for us out in right field, and maybe a Whit Merrifield replacement since Merrifield's in last year's deal. He was in Double-A last year and started really slow, and then ended up hitting 36 home runs with a 122 WRC plus. Probably should have promoted him, but like by the end of May, he was like well below average at the bat, and then he just exploded. I probably should have put him in AAA, but here he is. He's in AAA to start this year. We've also got like one other interesting bullpen arm that isn't on the 40-man yet. Oh, oops, wrong team. Who I think could make some noise if he gets caught up. That being Will Klein. I mean, look at this guy. This is, I mean, with the 40 stamina, 75 stuff in these 2 pitches, he's got future stopper written all over him. Future maybe being this year. He hasn't pitched. He started last year in A-ball, dominated, was really good in Double-A. So we'll see how he does. We have plenty of budget room. Of course, like 15 of this will go to. We'll go to the draft and international free agents. My owner raised the budget at the start of the preseason, so I have even more than I was expecting. We have the 12th best farm system, primarily because of Jesus Cuevas, the 16-year-old in our international complex who looks like he could be a stud. Nick Lofton is in AAA. He didn't do anything there last year, but Scout still likes him. Prospects people still like him, so hopefully he can put it together this year in AAA. Lloydell Chappelli is a guy that I signed as a minor league free agent last year, and he hit really well in A and Double-A. So he's in AAA this year as an outfielder. Still just 21, which is kind of crazy. Also, Asa Lacy is here. He had a pretty decent year in Double-A last year. He started in A and then pitched the second half of the season in Double-A. I mean, his ERA was still 5.11, and he walked 8.3 guys per 9. So we're going to leave him there for now to try to work on his control a bit more. Frank Mazzucato is a guy who doesn't look too impressive there. My scout has dropped him on some stuff here in March, but OSA is not too much higher, but he pitched well last year in rookie ball as an 18-year-old. So 1.1 WAR, 2 WAR in 56 innings. We've also got Cam Collier, who was our first-round pick in 2022. Since he just turned 18 in November, I'm going to leave him in rookie ball, I think. So that's the squad. We open at home against Chicago. You guys want to see how we do? See if Eloy goes yard like 5 times? Let's see. I think we're ready to start the season. Oh, I did put up in a couple waiver claims too, I think. Actually, let me show you that. There were a couple interesting arms, I believe is what it was. Yeah, Tyler Matzik. I guess this is kind of like our Will Smith backup now. I did this before I even recognized that Smith was struggling so much, according to my scout. But an arm this good at just $2.4 million, yeah, I'm gonna be interested in that. He put up a 1.85 ERA in 87 innings for Atlanta last year. I don't really know why they're DFAing him, but on waivers. And then Christopher Sanchez, an old friend of mine from my Orioles and my Phillies sim. I don't think I have room for him on my roster, especially if Matzik gets claimed too, if we win that claim. But I would try to sneak him down through waivers to send him to AAA. So that's what I would plan for Christopher Sanchez, everybody's favorite lefty pitcher. So let's see how we can do here against the White Sox. All right, we won 4-1. Let's go to Eloy first. Eloy went 1 for 4, struck out twice. Oh, he led off the season with a double. Nice. Devers went yard in the 6th inning, a solo homer for Stroman, who's in their bullpen. Multi-hit game from Bobby Witt. Singer went 5 1/3, 3 hits. He left after 78 pitches. Michael Kopech got hurt. Then Stamont and Barlow shut it down. Barlow pitched the last 2 innings through 27 pitches. Yeah, cool. So their revenge game against us did not go well. We did not allow them to get revenge for last year. So anyways, we'll jump ahead some here, but welcome to the 2023 MLB season. Okay, it's June 8th. We're at the draft. We're in last place, but only 2.5 out of first place. The AL Central is kind of spread out. Or, I mean, not spread out, bunched together. We're 2.5 out of the wild card, but again, just a ton of teams. We were actually running a few games above 500 and in first place for like the first 6 weeks of the season, and then we just cratered in late May. We've had some injuries. Our hitting has not been good. Our pitching was really good for a while. We were leading the league in ERA like the second week of May, so like a month ago or so, and now we're 6th in ERA. So our pitching, our defense was also first. So our pitching just hasn't been good. Our offense has just been bad all year. We'll get more into that, but you can see we went 12-17 in May, and that includes like we lost the last 4, and right here we lost like 5 of 6 there, and then we won 2, and then we lost 4 of 5, and then we won 2, and then we lost 4 in a row. So yeah, the second half of May, well, really all of May was pretty rough. But like up through here, like May 10th or so, I'd say is like the time, like second week of May I was referring to, and it seemed like things were going okay, right? Like right here we're 21-16. So since then we've gone 9-17. That's rough. That's real rough. We've had some injuries. A lot of guys are back now. Let's see who's out. So, I didn't know Alec Marsh tore his UCL. He did that down in the minors. I had sent him down because he had put up a 7.65 ERA, only a 4.95 FIP, and his SIERA was 2.96, right? So things were likely to get better for him. But I sent him down when I needed some fresh arms, and he tore his UCL, which that sucks. He tore it like 6 days ago in AAA. I hadn't noticed that. Carlos Hernandez is just about back. He had like a 12-day injury or something, and I needed fresh arms, so I put him on the IL. But a 2.25 ERA so far in 24 innings. He's been good. Nathan Webb has only been up for an inning and a third. He got hurt in his first outing for us. Vinny Pascantino is out for the year. He broke his kneecap. Nick Lofton came up during all the injuries that we had, but he fractured his thumb. He'll be back in 2 days. But yeah, he only played 5 games before that happened. Kyle Isbell tore his hamstring. He's out for 5 weeks. But man, he's like in part-time duty. I was starting to give him, what, he got 2 current injuries? What does he have? Oh, a strained oblique and a torn hamstring. Okay. I was starting to give him more playing time. I think like this was the point where like beginning of June, I think this was his first game where I was like, all right, I'm going to play him like every 4th game in each left and right field, give him a game. You know, I was basically getting to where he was going to play like 3 to 4 days a week, and he came out, went 3 for 3, and then tore his hamstring. So that sucks. We had other guys miss time too. Bobby Witt missed how much time? He missed 3 to 4 weeks. I think it ended up being about 4 to 5 weeks by the time his rehab assignment was over. Devers has missed a little bit of time. He went out for like, he missed a week with an oblique strain. I think it was a little over a week. Because, you can see he was injured on 5/9. He wasn't diagnosed until the 13th. So it was like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks that he missed. I think that's most of the injuries in terms of how they've happened. But you can see here, in terms of full-time players, Devers and Melendez are carrying this offense, and everybody else is below average. Now, Sully Matias, who was one of our better outfield prospects, he's up now since Isbell went on the IL. He's played 2 games. He's hit 2 home runs in 9 at-bats. He was crushing AAA to the tune of a 137 WRC plus. In 217 plate appearances, he had 14 home runs. He was slugging .528. So when Isbell went on the IL, we called him up. And so he's playing every 3rd or 4th day in place of Merrifield because Merrifield's not doing that well. And, I mean, he's going to win that job if he keeps hitting. Merrifield can bounce around. Somebody also hasn't been good. He hasn't earned it. Devers has just been a monster for us when he's been healthy, a 164 OPS plus. That's worked out very, very well. Our 1 year of Rafael Devers. I don't see us handing out an 8-year, $200 million contract to a guy who's basically a DH. Melendez just keeps on cooking, man. Trace Barrera is just our backup catcher, but he's kind of like our 3rd catcher behind Perez. Dylan Moore has been fine. Eloy has heated up finally. His OPS plus was like in the 50s at one point in May. Let me see. Where are his splits? So you see he was 67 in April. Then he won a tear in May and got it up to 94. And then he started June hot too with a 144. So thank goodness he's finally hitting. Alberto Mondesi has been, fine. He's a good glove. So, you could live with this OPS plus. Normally I sort by WRC. Did those get, rearranged? Did I do something? I don't know. I thought I normally, yeah. Anyways, Bobby Witt has not been good, but again, he's missed half the season. I mean, he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great. Whit Merrifield has been very meh. JC Correa is a guy who came up, and you can see he doesn't have any hits he has one hit in his last 5 games. He was cooking pretty well. He had a WRC plus around 110, and you can see in the minors he's been good. We got him from Houston in the offseason. We traded them Edward Olivares. And this avoid Ks and contact is a nice combo. He's up right now. When he would go back down, what? I guess with Pascantino out, he'll kind of fight with Lofton and Isbell and all those guys. So there are other guys knocking on the door, though. I don't understand why. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to stop worrying about that. We'll just sort by OPS plus for now. I mean, WRC plus. But he's really trailed off here. Sal Perez, just a miserable start to the year for him. 74 WRC plus. He started pretty well the first couple weeks of April, and then trailed off. You can see, April, he put up a 107 WRC plus, and then he went 57 in May and a 10 WRC plus so far in June. So 90% below league average. Not good. Nicky Lopez has not been good. 61 WRC plus, still in the positive war because his defense is great. And Michael A. Taylor has just been really, really bad. I am considering dealing him because he's got a trade market. I can't really seem to get an interesting major league piece for him, but I can get an interesting prospect or two. So what that would do is open up a 40-man spot. My 40-man is full, so each time I want to add when I want to call up Matias, he wasn't on my it was one of these guys I called up during the injuries. I had to DFA somebody. I DFA'd Will Smith recently because he was, that tank and ratings appeared to be accurate. He wasn't pitching well. So I might deal Taylor. If I did that, Mondesi would be my everyday center fielder. You can see he's got a 70 outfield range. He can do that. He can live there in center field. What that would then do is open up second base where Merrifield could play or Correa could play. If Merrifield play there, Matias would play in right field. So some things, kind of in flux here. I'm thinking about ditching the Michael A. Taylor experience. Pitching side of things. Let's see. Kyle Hendricks. Let's sort by R WAR. No, let's sort by innings. Kyle Hendricks, you can see his ERA is 2.54, 2 runs lower than his FIP, but even his FIP is not bad either, though. Brady Singer keeps pitching well, but not getting the ERA results to say he deserves. 4.73 ERA, 3.28 FIP. Kluber's been really good. Keller's been good. I mean, all these ERAs are good, and the FIPs aren't terrible for most of them. Jackson Kowar's in the rotation now, replacing Marsh. He's got an exactly league average ERA. Where'd he go? Yeah, exactly league average ERA at 4.07, and the FIP is 3.22. Sierra 2.63, so he's pitched well. Barlow's getting a bunch of innings and handling them great. Stalmount and Romero have both been okay-ish. Garrett has not been very good. Matzik's been fine. We just called up Luke Murphy. He's thrown 9 innings so far. I'm excited about his arm. I think he's a big addition to the bullpen. I called him up when we sent down Alec Marsh and called him up and moved Kowar into the rotation. So John Hazley is here. I'm not sure how long he's here for or who's going to fill this spot permanently. And then Will Klein we just called up, and he's moving right into a setup role. He's probably going to move into a stopper role pretty immediately. I mean, look at this guy. He's become a monster here. And he was a 5th-round pick in 2020. But, I mean, he was in AAA. His first taste of AAA through 30 innings. He put up 1.5 WAR and 2.5 R WAR. A 0.6 ERA, a 1.96 FIP. A 24.8 strikeout to walk percentage. He was just clearly needed to be up here. So he's up here now. I just called him up. Hopefully he can do some things for us. We did extend some guys, assign some extensions. So let's start first with Brady Singer. So Singer had 2 years of team control left, 24 and 25. His arbitration estimate for 24 was like 9-ish million, and for 25 I think was like 14 million. He was asking for a 1-year deal at 12.6 million. So I was like, well, what if I just offer him this for 4 years? I'll pay more next year, but I'll pay a little less than the estimate in 25, and then I'll get 2 free agent years while he's still like 30 or younger for 12.6 million for a guy who has basically pitched like a number 1 starter for the time I've been at the helm. I mean, his ERA is a little rough this year, but the FIP, it looks like the skills are still there. The strikeouts are down, but so are the walks. FIP and Sierra are both in a similar spot to last year. The BABIP's up. The home runs are the same. So I'm happy with that extension. I think that's the kind of extension you have to take as the Royals now. Like, take a little bit of risk. Like, maybe he will flame out, but also you might have an ace for 12.6 million. Mondesi was in the final year of his deal. We signed him to a 3-year extension. The last year is a player option. He's 27, 8.5, 10, and 12 million for him. I mean, really, this is just about he can play a premium second base or a premium center field for us and bat around league average, right? I mean, he's got a 90 OPS plus, 10% below the league average, and he's still on pace to put up 3.3 WAR. So his bat could tank. His avoid Ks and contact are a little concerning. I don't love that his best tool is gap power, but his defensive versatility as well as his defensive excellence make him a guy that I wanted around longer. Same thing with Nicky Lopez. Well, he's been off to a terrible start this year with his 61 WRC plus. I've got a lot of faith in this contact and avoid Ks. He's got the 75 range, work ethic, fan fave. I think he'll bounce back, but he's like a Gold Glove caliber shortstop, and he's only 28. And we've got him through his age 32 season, which is about as far as I wanted to go. He wanted, I think, 1 year at 9.1 million. I think is what he wanted or something. And I offered him this. It's a 4-year, $44 million extension, so about 11 million per year. Maybe that's what he wanted. Yeah, maybe he wanted more than 9.1. But anyway, so I've got him. So I'm happy to have signed Lopez, Mondesi, and Singer. Basically number 1 starter and Gold Glove caliber shortstop and center fielder, all under contract for several more years. I think those are the only ones that I did so far. Yeah, I haven't checked in on Bobby Witt in a little while. Does he still want to be paid like he's Fernando Tatis? Basically, 10 years, 224 million for a guy who in 781 plate appearances has a 95 WRC plus. I mean, there's just no way, Bobby. There's just no way. I'd love to extend him. I believe in him. I think he'll be better than he's been, but there's just no way. Now, MJ Melendez is a guy who's actually like done things. 503 plate appearances, a 124 WRC plus. He's only 24 years old. But again, I don't know that I'd have to look more at his arbitration estimates. But you're paying $24 million for his free agent years in the 30s. I don't know if I love that. Don't know if I love that at all. But I would consider extending him. So, like I said, we're at the draft. Let's get to it. So we've got the 19th pick. We are predicted to take Kai Caranto, who looks like a high school infield bat with high intelligence, decent player. Where was the guy? There's one guy I was looking at. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this bat, this college bat. Man, I'd love to have that guy. 65 home run power. Heck yeah. Thomas White is predicted to go first overall. He looks like that's a pretty good high school arm. I think I would take that college bat. That looks amazing, but this is a good arm for a high school arm. Like I would, I know I've said in my tutorials, and I think probably in my draft video last year, like I'm kind of hesitant to take high school arms in the draft. I don't know that I'd take him number 1 overall, but that's a good high school arm. I think better than the typical high school arm. He's got 3 pitches developed already is a big piece of that. His stuff is developed already. So then you're just looking for his movement and control to come along, and and he's only 18. He's a lefty. Like, yeah, that's a guy I would consider picking. So let's start the draft. We'll look at the first 3 picks, and then we'll we'll just skip to my picks. So the Red Sox do take Thomas White. not too surprising there. Emmanuel Dean. The Rangers took this outfielder that I like a lot, who I should immediately try to trade for, right? Man, I really like how far along his bat is already. I mean, I know he's 22, and I've got guys in the majors who are around that age, but still, that guy looks awesome. All right, Pittsburgh is going to take Devin Hicks. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I would have been all that tempted to take this guy. I don't see anything plus here except the potential for control. Where was he projected to go? Hicks. Whoa, they went off the board here, man. Wait, where is this guy? Am I just missing him? No, they went way off the board here. Okay. I wish you could control F this. I'm still not seeing him. There he is. Second round. 5th pick of the second round he's predicted to go. And he just went 3rd overall. Wow. Wow. Maybe that's because of his ask. Like, people think he's going to go to college. But 8.9. Oh, wait. He's a college arm. Jeez, man. He's 21. Oh, I hate that pick. Oh, I hate that pick. Jeez. Okay. Well, all right. So it's to our pick. Let's see who our scout recommends for us. Campbell Soup Smithwick, a high school catcher. He's got a couple great tools, but they're the two I care about the least. Like, if this was like contact and avoid Ks, I'd be like, yeah. But gap power and eye are the two I care about the least in terms of the 5 tools. He doesn't look great. I mean, he looks fine in terms of the other ones. Let's go ahead up here. Look at potential. No, I wanted all batters. Thank you. So he's got him as the 3rd highest. Oh, so Cade Kurland. I love that contact potential there. He's a high school senior, but he's already 19. He wants slot. He's adaptable but not loyal. Blake Mitchell. I don't hate this bat. Good home run bat at catcher. Can he play anywhere else too? Oh yeah, he could play some other positions for you. None of them supremely, but Antonio Anderson is a mildly interesting high school player. Here's Kai Caranto. I don't mind this guy, given that he's only 18. The avoid Ks is already developed. If he could get this up to 45 and the avoid Ks at 60 and play second base with a 65 range, high intelligence, like, I don't mind this guy at all. Do I like him better than Cade Kurland? I don't know. Let's see if there's any other. No, I'm not going to take him. Max Clark. Man, give me that gap power as home run power, and I'm into you, dude. Cole Eaton. Don't mind this guy. This guy's got a good power bat. He's already 21, though. I don't like his lack of development at 21. Some low work ethic guys. No thanks. Ooh. Don't like the ground ball hitter. So just scan. Oh, this guy's got big power. 45 infield range. Yeah, he could play 3rd base. I kind of like this guy. He might be around in the 2nd round. I'm just scanning here for like some more green tools. A bunch of big power bats here, which I kind of love. Probably gonna take one of them in the 2nd round. So I like Curlin and Caranto are 2. There was a 3rd guy that I liked. Was it Cole Eaton? Yeah, it was Cole Eaton. So Eaton to Caranto. I think Eaton's clearly the better bat. But Caranto could play a pretty good second base. Eaton would be a good left or right fielder. Can't really play center. I think the tie goes to Caranto here just because defensively he's better. He's better avoid. It's basically like he's better avoid K. Eaton's better power. But I think I prefer Cole Caranto. Eaton wants slot. Caranto wants 1.5. And the other guy was Cade Curlin. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much Caranto over Eaton. So then it comes down to Curlin versus Caranto here. Much better contact. Nobody has good power, and then he's got better avoid Ks. Other defensive abilities. Yeah. I think I prefer Caranto still. I think they're pretty equal hitters. He's adaptable but not oil. And I think Caranto's the better fielder. He's high intelligence too. I was kind of thinking about taking a more developed college bat, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to take Kai Caranto, I think. I like him better than this guy, I think. I don't really like drafting catchers. High school catcher, I don't know. So contact's a little better. Gap power's way better. Home run power's a little better for Smithwick. Eye is way better, but avoid K's is way better for Caranto. And then defensively, like this dude's just a catcher, and Caranto can play almost every position except center field and shortstop. And he could be a backup shortstop. If you needed him to play shortstop with the 65 range and 50 arm, he could fake it. Ideally, he's a second baseman. And I think a pretty decent one defensively. So, yeah, I'm going to take the guy that the mock draft said we were going to take. And he's like $5 million under slot. Let's draft him. And then I'm going to come back and look for one of these power bats. Who is Philadelphia going to take one of the guys I was looking at? Oh, yeah, they took Cade Curlin. Understandable. Did the other guys looking at go next? No. Braden Holcomb. Not Braden Holtby. Okay, so who were the guys? There were a couple power bats that I was just like, yeah. Oh, it looks like maybe the main guy is gone. Oh, Cole Eaton's still there. Oh, shoot. I think I got to take him. I like when you are debating between two guys in one round, and then you come the next round and the other guy's still there. Who's this guy? Yeah, no, I'm not too interested. Ooh. Oh, he's got good work ethic too. It's a good power bat, man. Another good power bat. Bunch of 18-year-olds, though. I was kind of wanting to take some more developed players this year because I took so many high schoolers last year. Like a guy like this, right, who's a little more developed. Ceiling isn't as high, but he might be able to, reach the majors a season and a half sooner than those other goobers. This is another guy, right? If he can get that contact and avoid K's up a little bit. Yeah, I guess that one power bat I was looking at last time is gone. So let's look at pitchers real quick. Oh, wow. This is a pretty good pitcher. I feel like I have so many pitchers in the high minors, though. Like, I don't need to draft for it. Like, if I was like, man, I need a bunch of pitchers in the next couple of years, I never really draft for need, but I might think about that as like a tiebreaker. But I don't really think I need that. Now, I do wish that there were some better college bats out here, but there really aren't that many. I mean, this guy is not good defensively, even though he's a pretty good bat now. He's also a ground ball hitter. That guy's You got some okay guys that could probably go hack it for you in like high A right now and see what happens over the next couple of years. But I think I like the ceiling of Cole Eaton too much to pass him up. Yeah, you can see a pattern here probably in my last couple drafts. High school bats with high ceiling, man. And he's under slot too. Cool. Not even trying to go under slot, but we'll do it. I didn't even ask my scout who I should pick, did I? Oh, Drew Bowser. He was a guy for me in my Orioles sim and Out of the Park 21. I drafted him, and then he became a major leaguer for me. All right, who are you recommending? Jaron Purify. This is the high work ethic. I think I was looking at him way earlier. Monster power potential. There's not like a I kind of like that guy. Yeah, dude. I'm into this Purify move. A monster high school bat who wants well under slot. Let's do it. And by the way, I could show you, I guess, but a bunch of the pitchers that I picked kind of like in rounds like 6 through 15. I didn't go all pitcher, but last year I picked high school bats the first 5 rounds and then took some college pitchers. Like some of them are already in high A and double A, and they're adequate. None of them are superstars, but they're adequate. Here's a college pitcher named Max Carlson, who I kind of like, actually. It might be good balance for... are there any good two-way players out there? Ooh, J.C. Vanek. Not like amazing. No amazing contact guy. All these guys have one good tool, but nothing else. Yeah. What about batters who are pitchers? Any? No, not really. All right, cool. Yeah, I like this Max Carlson pick. He's over slot, but we've gone way under slot. And, dude, he's going to go, like, I don't know, high A right away. Let's do it. All right, so now we go to the 5th round. Let's see what our scout says. Guy Gurabay. No, thank you. I don't like him. All batters, but I want my draft hitters thing up here. Is that really who you're recommending? That's kind of crazy, man. If I want a pitcher... I mean, I like that he's out of Georgia. Shout out to Athens, but that's about all I like about that guy. So we've got this guy who has low work ethic. No, thank you. Low intelligence there. This is a decent player. Kind of defensively limited, though. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not going to shine anywhere defensively. Ooh. Low work ethic. Damn it. No one, like, jumping off the page here. Low work ethic and low intelligence. I guess I should look at that on this screen before I click, huh? I don't mind this guy. Really good avoid K potential, decent contact. He could play your corners. That's about all he could play. There's just not like the dude jumping off at me, jumping off the page here. Yeah, I like that guy too. Don't like the low work ethic. Who was the guy? There was somebody down here. There's a high school bat that I was like, oh, I don't mind that guy. And then I just like moved away from him. It was somewhere right down here. This guy. Nope. This guy, John Cooper Williams. I'm going to pick him. He's got the high intelligence. already developing the avoid Ks above what we'd expect at his age. We're drafting him. All right, we'll do one more pick here. Matthew Osenfort, high school first baseman. Low intelligence. I think I'm out. I don't mind the George Lombard play there. Some decent college arms out here. Just go starters. But no one like great. Oh, wow, look at this guy. Don't love the extreme fly ball. They only throws 92. But he could, like, pitch in Double-A right now. Yeah, let's take him. Let's take Tyson Heaton. All right. Going to stop it there. And I'll be back with I'll forward a little bit to the up close to the trade deadline here and figure out how we're going to get this below 500 team back in the saddle. Well, things are not going well in Kansas City. It's July 14th. We're 43 and 49. We suck. Our defense efficiency is way down, but the zone rating is up. I don't know. You can try to make sense of that. I can't. 15th in the AL in runs scored. We are 5th in runs allowed. So hitting continues to be the problem. And it's really just a lack of getting on base, I think. If you see with like slugging, I think we were okay-ish, although I haven't checked this in a few weeks. I mean, we're like 23rd or so, but OBP, I think we're dead last. Oh no, we're ahead of the Cubs, but an OBP of 292. Our average of 239 is fine, right? Like fine-ish relative to the league. Runs scored, you can see we're second to last, tied for second to last. Walks were just, I mean, we're not even in the neighborhood. We're last at 215, next is the Rockies at 240. Doubles are 154, actually isn't that bad. Yeah, I think we probably are up there. We're up there in stolen bases. So we don't get on base. Where are we in home runs? We're right there. So what's that? Like 22nd, 23rd. So, I mean, it's not good when it comes to things other than getting on, like walks, but we're just not getting on base at all. Like, if we could get on base some more, it would make our offense a bit better. I did make one move to try to help our on base. Brought in Dan Vogelbach because he hits home runs and gets on base. He's only been here for 6 games. And he's got a 111 BABIP, which probably explains a lot of his -4 WRC plus that he's posted. He's walked in 11.5% of his 26 plate appearances. We gave up Matt Still, who is a 23-year-old pitching prospect who is in A-ball. My scouts seen his stuff go up a little bit recently, including his velocity, but I really wasn't concerned about giving him up. So he's going to be first base against righties. Perez will still be first base against lefties. Because Perez has just not been good. If we sort by OPS plus here, he's got a 60 OPS plus. Now, there are other guys down here, right? Like Merrifield at 73, Eloy at 86. JC Correa is just like a guy getting a chance, and, you know, his chance is just about up. You know, Devers, Witt has gone on a tear. Michael Garcia just got called back up. Probably time to start giving him even more playing time. Melendez has trailed off some. In May, he trailed off. Although, if you look at this, it doesn't really look like he's trailed off. I don't know. His WRC plus and OPS plus are lower than they were. We've had a bunch of injuries. Some of the guys are starting to come back now. But Brad Keller's out for the year. Corey Kluber has been out for almost 2 months now, and he's out another 2 more, so he's missing about 4 months. He'll be back mid to late September. Alec Marsh, as we talked about, he's out. Josh Stalmount is out. Pascantino's still out, and then Dylan Moore is out. That'll finish his year just about. Michael A. Taylor has missed some time. He'll be back soon. Isbell missed like 5 weeks. He just went on a rehab assignment, and then this was a bummer. Sully Matias, who had the 3 home runs in 22 plate appearances, he went out with a herniated disc. He's back in 2 more weeks, so right around the trade deadline. I haven't made any other trades. You can see Taylor Mondesi is day to day too. I haven't made any other trades yet. I'm not going to sell. I shouldn't say only 8 games back when there are 3 teams between. But I'm also only 3.5 games out of the wild card. Like, if we can get up to around 500, like, we're in the hunt for the wild card. And at that point, like, I don't know, maybe the White Sox will falter a little bit too. Expanded standings wise, we got a minus 36 run differential, but we're 11 and 21 in one run games. So, if we could reverse our fortune there, get some good breaks, things would be looking a lot better. Pitching staff side of things, man, you saw all the injuries. Like, we've got 3 starters out. So we've got Jackson Kowar, Carlos Hernandez, he hasn't started yet, and Angel Zerpa, who's made 1 start, all in our rotation. Will Klein's been really good since we called him up. We've called up Seth Martinez, who was dominating in AAA. Nathan Webb and Luke Murphy were guys who were pitching really well in AAA. We've still got Singer and Hendricks here slinging the ball for us well, but we clearly need some starting pitching now, even though, our starters ERA, well, it's 8th in the AL. Our biggest need is definitely hitting, but with all the injuries, I think we need to bring in a starter too. Trading block wise, I actually haven't looked at the trading block in a little while. I'd say Ohtani was on the trade block. So yeah, Ohtani's on the trade block. I mean, he's a free agent after the year. Are they winning their division though? Oh no, they're terrible. Oh, well that's interesting, Shohei. So he's only got a 91 WRC plus in the majors this year. Pitching he's been pretty good. Well, that would be interesting. I wonder if they I'm sure they want the moon for him, even though he's a free agent. Yeah, like there's no one that they do it straight up for. Like, if I was basically like, I'll give you Bobby Witt, he's still not into it. So if I gave him Witt and Singer, they would do it. Yeah, clearly not happening. They clearly don't actually want to trade him. Let's go back to the trade block here. Glasnow, it's the same thing. They're not giving him up. Clevenger's out there. Is he healthy now? Oh yeah, he's been back. He's made 8 starts, but I think they have him for 11 million next year too. Maybe we go out and get Mike Clevenger again. He hasn't been very good since coming back from the Tommy John. Matthew Boyd of the Cubs is out there, a pending free agent. I hate extreme fly ball pitchers, even in Kansas City. Patrick Corbin is still out there at 33 years old, having an okay year. Yeah, we don't need a superstar. Ryu's out for another 4 weeks. Let me sort this by starters. I think we pretty clearly need starters. Blake Snell's out there. What kind of year is he having? Oh, a bad one. I wonder why his year's so bad. Oh, wow. Look at his home runs. 4.99 ERA, 5.66 FIP, but a 3.52 ERA because his home run rate is off the chain, man. I wonder... I'd be interested in him. Hopefully his home run luck could change. Let me just throw, a random prospect in and just, see what they say. Not a very good offer. What about Asa Lacy? If you offer a little more. I'm not going to give him Asa Lacy. So, nah, I don't think they're serious about trading him either. They still want a guy, AC is a top 100 prospect now. He's number 46. Oh, by the way, randomly, Nick Lofton became the 5th best prospect in baseball, and they just updated the prospect rankings. So that's cool. Is this a guy that I just signed? No, it's a scouting discovery. Cool. I guess the guy that I just signed isn't there yet. I'll try to remember, show him to you, but whatever. He's 16. He's not going to be around forever. where it's going to be forever until he's around. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like Glass now, unless the prices come down. I mean, this was basically like we want a Witt and and Singer type of thing too. Oh, so they will do it for Witt. Okay, so they've brought their price down. Let me just say make this work now. What are they saying? Okay, so Bobby Witt is the only guy they'll do it for. How generous of them. Are there like other people you're interested in on my roster? So they'll eat the whole deal if we give them Witt. Do you guys have like a good contact hitter? Oh, Wander Franco. Who's that? Yandy Diaz. He's having a bad year. How's Luis Patino? Not doing great, and he's extreme fly ball. Yeah, man, there's not a... Here's Tyler Anderson, old friend of the team. Are the Red Sox bad again? They're in the mix, kind of-ish. Kind of. Jacoby Jones was on pace for like 10 WAR after a month and a half. Yeah, Jacoby Jones has a 151 WRC plus. They took him from me in the Rule 5 draft. So, I couldn't tell you what in the world's going on. He made the All-Star game, and he's on pace for 6.6 WAR. So that's super fun, random out of the park thing, random baseball thing. Yeah, man, there's not like a ton out here that I love with pitching. I mean, I guess like if they wanted to give away Darvish for cheap, like I'd be into that. All right, it does look like they're thinking about giving him away for cheap. My scout doesn't like Darvish, or my assistant GM doesn't like Darvish. Oh wow, so they basically want to give him away. So I can get Darvish for free. Instead of free, so if I take Darvish's salary, then they're pretty interested in giving me back another significant piece. But they want a lot for it. I'm not looking to subtract from my roster at this point that much. How's Cronenworth? So you can play all over. Oh, they signed him to an extension? Oh, gross. I don't like that extension at all. I'm not trading for him. How's Austin Nola? He can play a bunch of places. Ooh, having a terrible year. Wonder why he's having such a bad year. Oh, he's bad last year too. Trent Grisham having a really bad year. 2 bad years in a row for him. He's generally pretty good in this game. Not working out for him in real life yet this year. But he doesn't wear batting gloves, so I'm a Trent Grisham fan, obviously. They still are very high on him. Luke Voigt's kind of fun. It doesn't look like they're willing to give up like a good piece back. Robert Hassel, how about that? He said, get real. I would love CJ Abrams 70 contact. Yeah, I mean, Darvish is like moderately interesting, but I think he's going to be there for the taking as we get closer. Are there any good batters on the block? Yeah, there are a bunch. I mean, Ohtani we knew about. Mitch Garver. I mean, I guess I could always have him be a... Let me look at... I'd really like a good contact and eye guy. Ooh, Michael Brantley kind of fits the bill. So does Gurriel. Brantley is... See, he's in D.C. He's on a 1-year, $10 million deal. He can play some right field. It's a lefty, which I have a lot of lefty bats. Gurriel is a righty. He's fragile, so he's definitely going to get hurt. Oh, so you're like looking for legitimate player back for him. That's insane, guys. That's crazy. That is crazy. Brantley, there's Duffy is a pretty good contact hitter. Having a good year. He can play all over the field. Oh, gross. He signed for next year at 8.2, though. Kepler's not a great contactor. Oh, there's JD Martinez. He's having a good year in Boston. I could always trade for him again and then move Devers to first base, and then Vogelbach and Perez are both on my bench. Yeah. Gene Segura with the Orioles. It's not a big walk guy. Yandy Diaz is a decent contactor, not having a good year. Yeah, man, I don't know. Where's Trey Mancini now? Oh, he's in DC. Not doing much. There's just like, not a lot out there yet. The prices are high on the guys that are interesting, so maybe I need to go forward a bit more. I think I did that in the last trade deadline episode, and then a lot of things opened up, and I made some trades. But I do have an offer out to the Astros. I offered them Michael Taylor for Lance McCullers, and they are moderately interested. So maybe we'll go forward and just see if they give us a response. They haven't. I did fire my hitting coach, by the way. I brought in former Braves legend Dan Murphy. By the way, how do you delete the messages now this year? I don't know. There used to be a button up here where you could delete all your messages. I don't know how to do it anymore. All right, so we're gonna face the Orioles. We're gonna face Grayson Rodriguez to start here. Let's do it. We won 3-1. Oh, Michael A. Taylor is ready to come off the IL. So let's send him down on a quick rehab assignment. But once again, we had to keep the opponent to 1 run to get Dan Vogelbach walked 3 times. That's cool. Scored a run. Nice. Love to see that. No home runs. Singer went 7 1/3. Barlow went inning and 2/3. So Houston said almost. What I don't like is sometimes they'll be like, add any of these players in. You go add one of them in, you submit it, and they're like, oh, almost. That's extremely annoying. So let's add in Joshua Rivera, a shortstop in A-ball. Respond to message. I'll need more time to think about it. I mean, he's probably going to come back and say almost again. That's been my experience. Let's see. Yeah, so annoying, dude. Just here, let me do this. Yeah, and to make this work, it's a bunch of guys that I don't want to trade. Make it any different? Not really. All right, I'll come back to you guys because I know you've been trying to get rid of McCullers' salary since this sim started. Oh, we scored 8 runs. What happened? Sal Perez went 3 for 5. He's pissed that he's on the bench. Everybody had a hit. For you guys, Bobby Witt had 4 hits. Pitching was Kowar. He pitched okay. Klein got hit. Webb was okay. We rocked John Means. Okay, let's go for the sweep here. We got the sweep. Carlos Hernandez is out for 1 to 2 weeks. Well, I can't have an unusable pitcher, especially one who's in my rotation. Let me just go to the next day real quick. Trade proposal from the Nats. I don't really want Evan Marshall, bro. Oh, Bobby Witt Jr. got Player of the Week. So we won 5-3. Sal Perez played again. Maybe we faced another lefty, I guess. Bobby Witt went yard again. He's really breaking out. He's like, oh, I'm not worth 10 years, $250 million. Let me show you, guy. Yeah, I think it's time to. Hernandez pitched okay before he got hurt. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm sure some trades will come up, but they're not coming yet. So where are we in the wild card now? We're 2.5 back, 7 back in the division. It's not looking great. It's not looking great, but we'll do our best here. All right, I'm gonna sim ahead a bit now. All right, so we're scratching and clawing now. We're 52 and 53. 9-4 since the All-Star break. So we're 3.5 out of the Central lead. We are a game and a half out of the last wild card. Made a couple trades for pitching with some names that I tossed around last time. We brought in Lance McCullers Jr. He's made one start for us. He lasted 3 innings, gave up 4 runs. Wasn't great, but hey. So we traded Michael A. Taylor, who has gone and played 4 games and been the best hitter in the league so far for the Astros. He was just having a really bad year for us. He's a free agent after the year, 52 WRC plus, striking out in 32% of his plate appearances, and Alberto Mondesi has the same outfield range as him, so we put him in there. And we also traded Joshua Rivera, who is kind of like a nothing minor league player. And then we also got Yu Darvish, who pitched 6 shutout innings for us. We're not paying any of his salary because the Padres absolutely love Ben Caderna. He's a second-round pick last year of the Royals, but, I'm not too high on him. My scout isn't high on him. He's only 20, and he's in A-ball, and he's struggled FIP-wise at 5.37 and walking 5.7 guys per 9, only striking out 7.7 per 9. I mean, this guy's got plenty of time to become a really good pitcher. And they loved him, and every team has asked about him and make this work now. Not as like one of the top guys, but like once they get into my prospects, like away from my top prospects, this is a guy that everybody asked for. So he was a valuable trade chip. I also give up this guy, Miguel Alvarez. He was a valuable trade chip even if the stats in my scout don't say so. Every team around the league did. And bear in mind that, remember, they just wanted Darvish gone. Like, they just wanted him gone. So I was able to get 2 really good prospects I'm excited about. This 24-year-old starting pitching prospect, Noel Vela. He will be in AAA. He'd put up 3.5 WAR in 114 innings. I mean, he put up almost 5 WAR between no, that was last year. Yeah, I don't know why he was in AA still. So he's in AAA for us, hasn't pitched yet. And then we also got Matthew Acosta, who looks like a possibly really good hitting outfield prospect. He's in AA. He's probably in AAA. But good eye, good discipline. Maybe he'll walk a lot since we don't have anybody who does that. Have not been able to acquire a hitter yet. It's pretty much the same guys out there, pretty much the same prices. It sucks. Like, I've got to bring in a hitter. Like this, Devers and Witt, and then, Melendez is fine. Vogelbach hasn't been good for us. Lofton's been all right. But, I mean, like, Nicky Lopez, Sal Perez, Eloy, Whit Merrifield. Like, we can't trot all these guys out every day in our lineup. It's just not a good enough lineup. So, I mean, I'm going to keep messing around, trying to find something. We've only got about 4 days till the trade deadline, though. All right, so we're now at the trade deadline. I've made 2 more trades. I brought in Pavin Smith from the Diamondbacks. Basically, the reason being that he's a good contact hitter who's decent at avoiding Ks, and he'd been having a very bad year for Arizona, so therefore I think they were more willing to trade him. Last year, he put up a 138 WRC plus with 3.7 WAR. He's just entering his first year of arbitration. I don't know how much he'll help us this year, but I think he's an interesting piece to add for this year as well as the future. He can play the corners. Could he play third base if he did it? No, never mind. So he can play the corners in the outfield as well as first base. I guess he could fake it in center if you needed a defensive replacement or something. So brought in Pavin Smith. There's just not been a lot out there in terms of hitters. But he was an interesting name that I think is capable of performing at a high level, under team control for many more years, capable of playing at a few positions where we could use a bat. He's come over and walked in 27% of his plate appearances in 4 games. That's nice. So hopefully he can, find that level he had in him in 2022 for the Diamondbacks. We traded Samuel Valerio, who is a moderately interesting pitching prospect and just 21. But this control and his performance today is why I was willing to trade him. But if he can get this control up to 35, or even maybe grow it a bit at just 21. Like, he's got an awesome slider, good enough sinker, fine enough changeup, and the rest of his stuff will play. Like, this could be a major league arm. But so far this year, he's primarily been at AA, and he's walked 7.1 guys per 9. And he did the same thing at A this year. I mean, you know, you can see his strikeout to walk ratio has just not been good this season. Last year it was a good bit better. He throws 99 to 101. Like, definitely an arm that I can see why the Diamondbacks were interested in. They gave us 2 other, like, just older prospects that I think, you know, they're 20. That guy's 24. He looks okay. This guy's 23 and looks mildly interesting. These were just kind of like throwaway guys who need to be added to the 40-man this year. And oftentimes, like, relievers who are Rule 5 eligible the following offseason, like the computer the AI will often give those guys away pretty cheap. So Pavin Smith is the headliner for Valerio. Still wanted to add some on-base skill to this team. So he went and got Matt Duffy, who is actually having a pretty nice season for Boston, and he had a nice season the year before for the Angels, and he walks a good bit, right? 11.2% of his plate appearances, strikes out in less than 20%. He put up a 109 WRC plus. He can play first primarily. He can play left fine enough too. If you really want him to play second or third every so often, he could also do that. So he's a right-handed hitting guy who gets on base, makes contact, gets on base, walks. And so we're going to see how he works out for us. Now, this creates a fairly crowded roster. So, you know, for example, Whit Merrifield is not starting right now. I don't think he's starting against... Oh, I do have him starting. I forgot. I do have him starting against lefties in the outfield for Smith. So he's kind of like platooning with Smith in the outfield. I'm trying to get some platoon advantages here. Maybe try to help our offense some. Reduce Merrifield's role, let Smith try to succeed against righties. Same thing at first base. Vogelbach will play against righties, Duffy against lefties. Duffy will get some time in left field and at second base as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that we're not going to bring in like a headliner. The bottom line is, like I said, like, you know, Merrifield, Perez, Eloy, like, one of these guys has to step up. We need more from the guys that we have. Nicky Lopez, I mean, he's obviously capable of way more, but given that his glove's so good, I'm not, you know, he's not in danger of losing his job. Now, we do have Sully Matias out on a rehab assignment. He's been back for 3 games, so he's going to be ready really soon. And remember, he had 22 plate appearances and went yard 3 times for a 187 WRC plus. Now, he did strike out in almost 32%. He didn't walk. So, you know, but he's a big power bat, and he can play the outfield well. So I think, you know, there are a couple possible scenarios here. One is, I think the least likely, but is I DFA Vogelbach, who hasn't been good for us. So, you know, maybe I should do that, but his BABIP's really low, because basically Matias would come in and play right field every day, and then Smith could be the lefty that platoons with Duffy at first. Is the thinking there, is that Vogelbach just might be redundant now that Smith is here if we add an outfielder to the roster. The other 2 options I have is I can DFA Whit Merrifield, which, man, feels strange to say, but he, you know, he was fine last year, and then he's just been absolutely terrible this year. Just bad, man. Like, not even a home run. His on base is 297. His slug is 305. Negative WAR. He's just been really bad, and it's the last year of his deal. I suppose I could also option Kyle Isbell, but he's actually been hitting, although he's not going to be playing every day, so does that matter? You know, I'd say it's Vogelbach, Isbell, or Merrifield is going out. Vogelbach and Isbell are both lefties. I'd love to become less left-handed. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't feel ecstatic about this offense. I think this offense has a lot of trouble and problems still, but you know, we brought in some guys, not superstar, but some guys to hopefully put them in roles to succeed with more platoon situations going on. So we'll come back next video at the end of the season, and hopefully a postseason berth. You know, fingers crossed. We are currently 4.5 out of the division, but we're in 4th place, and we are 2.5 out of the wild card. just 2 spots behind the Mariners. So I still have faith in this team. I still think this team can do it, but we're going to need some guys to step up, whether that's the new guys, the guys who are underachieving and are still around, or both. But we'll be back to update you on the rest of the road here in 2023 in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.